story about how hiking changed my life. Today I'm hiking Mount Liberty. It's one of New Hampshire's 4,000 footers at 4,459 feet. Mount Liberty is the 18th tallest peak in the state. It's a nice one, but it's a really special mountain to me. This mountain holds dear in my heart, and I'd like to tell you why. But in order to tell this story properly, I have to go back in time a little bit. So let's go way back and start at the beginning. My love for the outdoors was sparked by a troubled childhood. So at a very early age, I relied on the woods to get away. They were my safe space. My appreciation and enthusiasm for the wilderness and nature has never died, and it would later go on to have a hand in changing the course of my life. I had to layer down. It's about 23 degrees out. You get pretty warm when you're going up. I very vividly remember my first hike in 3rd grade. We went on a class trip to Pitcher Mountain, and I gorged myself on blueberries at the top. That hike blew my mind, and it stuck with me. And my real love for winter hiking really took hold in 2008. That was the year I did my first single season in the Whites. I met a lot of good people, and that set the stage for a couple years later, where everything changed. A New Hampshire winter single season is when an individual hikes all 48 of New Hampshire's 4,000 foot plus mountains in a single winter season. Up, up, up we go. And everything's starting to change. The trees are getting shorter, thicker. If you want to go up, you gotta go up. Then, in the winter of 2011, 2012, I met Randy Pierce. Randy is an incredible human being. He's an author, an accomplished martial artist. He's completed multiple Tough Mudders. He's hiked in Peru and been to Scotland. He's run the Boston Marathon 5 times. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. His list of accomplishments goes on. And in the winter of 2011, 2012, he was attempting a New Hampshire winter single season. And he's completely blind. That winter, our paths crossed, and we started hiking together. As the winter progressed, I became his primary guide. But more importantly, we became good friends. Our adventure that winter brought us some highs and some lows as well. But ultimately, Randy was successful in his goal. He became the first, and to this day, the only blind person to ever have accomplished the feat. He's the most inspiring person I've ever met.
Nice.
So halfway to success, right? 47 and a half.
I'm very proud of what we accomplished that winter, and I'm extremely fortunate to have been a part of it. Randy's adventure that season was documented and turned into a documentary, 4 More Feet. And this documentary is available for rent or purchase on Amazon Prime, and that's pretty cool. I've only got 3/10 of a mile to go to the summit. It's the most exposed part, so I'm going to put some clothes on, layer up. Gonna have me a sip of some hot coffee. That's real good up here. All right, here comes the summit push. The last 3/10, and everything's gonna change quick. It's gonna get a lot colder and a lot windier in a hurry. Everything up here is frozen. summit, Mount Liberty. Look at that. Windy and cold. This is also my first winter hike with my Hilltop Packs Raven UL40. I'm trying out a new winter system. So far, so good. I'm liking it a lot. It's working, so yay! Thanks again, Ben. These backpacks are awesome. Now, meeting Randy was really cool. And I could have walked away from that winter very satisfied that I made a really good friend. But what really puts the icing on the cake is that I met my wife on this very day, on this very mountain 9 years ago. That's why this mountain is so special to me. You see, the woman that was recording the documentary, well, I thought she was kind of cute, and we ended up spending a lot of time together that winter. You know, Randy, Dina, and I, we spent a lot of time together in those mountains, hiking, and all the logistics that were involved to make that whole adventure happen. That winter changed my life. Every aspect of my life, as I know it now, comes and stems from that winter, which is pretty incredible. You never know when it's going to happen. And when it happens, you don't even know it's happening. So to have a mountain like this to come back to on the very date that we met, I can pinpoint it. And that means a lot. I gotta tell you, I love these mountains. And I'm really happy to be back out in them. For the last 15 years or so, the White Mountains have been my favorite playground. Then after Dina had Hayden, once our daughter was born, I became a stay-at-home dad, and most of my time was geared towards raising my daughter and working at home on the homestead. So I haven't been out in these mountains nearly as much as I would like in the last 6 years. But it's been the best 6 years of my life, so not a complaint by any means. I'm a lucky man, and I have literally spent the last 6 years of my life, my daughter's whole life, with her, with the exception of some of my adventures. We're back at the junction. I'm out of here. Alright guys, I'm back at the car, and it is windy. But before I head out, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about real quick. Some of you may have noticed I bare booted the whole way. I didn't use any traction gear. I don't like to use traction gear. I use it as little as possible. When it's icy, I use them. In packed down snow, I bare boot as long as possible, as long as I can get away with it. Now, that's not to say that I don't have traction. I always have traction. Let me show you what I've got here. I have micro spikes. And in the winter, no matter what, snowshoes. Now, I carry these more than I use them. Pretty much guaranteed every winter. But when I need them, I'm glad I have them. This Hilltop Packs worked out awesome. This is definitely going to work for me as a winter system. So, I'm really stoked about that. It does everything I need it to in the winter. Hilltop Packs!